Welcome back, fellow scrubs. This is Mark D. Wiz, working on the Pocket. Oh my god, not Pocket Fighter. The Not Pocket Fighter project. We're working on the Retro Mansion game. Oh my god. Alright, let's just bring it over. I actually got quite a bit of stuff to show on top of fixing what we ran into last time. We also have a new little level layout to show some of the stuff off. So, part of this is going to have to remember what exactly did we do to fix the thing last time. Because Tim and I worked off stream to do that part. So, let's just start with the new quote-unquote level layout here. And it's basically just to check transitions of a more, how do I want to put it? Check the transitions of floors in a more, I don't want to say predictable is not the word, a more expected kind of layout that you might actually find in a game, put it that way. In more of a layout of, oh yeah, this could be something that you might see in a level. Other than the checking the points thing, you wouldn't see something necessarily like that, but like the walking along the floor, transitioning between different parts of floors and stuff. It looks more like a level, more of the conditions. Yes, expected gameplay conditions might be the better way to put it. And then I added a run button, because it takes too long to walk from one side to the other. Now, I don't know if we're going to have a run button in the Mansion game, but just to make the test level easier to traverse here, especially since we don't have falling and everything to put in, I decided to make a run button. And so it's just basic. You hold it down, you go faster. There's no momentum or anything attached to it. It just changes your speed value and away you go. But as you can see, it works pretty good. If we turn the debug stuff on, you can see all the special debug things going on here. There's no collision while you're running yet, or while you're jumping, so you can just go through stuff and get stuck if you so desire. Oh wow, yeah, he's really stuck now. That's it, he's done. I don't know, let me restart it. Yeah, so as you can see the shapes being drawn and outlined, and the debug shapes, like here. And I forgot my spot. I knew I was forgetting something. I remembered the music labels, but I forgot the spot. But you can see here, like the unscaled shape, its actual size, and where you're connected to it is displayed up here. So the circles are pretty big, so you can see that it's up here. But you can also see the line that it has detected in the points. It's all drawn, so we can see what the heck's going on. And you see the points light up when they're in range of potentially being an obstacle. You see their points light up as they're shooting rays back toward the character, all that kind of fun stuff. So it makes it look interesting. It almost looks very Christmas themed, because it almost looks like Christmas lights going around the objects. So pretend it's Christmas, right? Yeah, hold on. Let's fix that real quick. It's Christmas, right? Hold on. Let's go. Good old Christmas time. I should have put a winter playlist up. I wasn't thinking. I was thinking, we haven't heard Castlevania music in a while. So that's what I put up. Oh well. Maybe next time. Since it's getting... What is it now? It's a 12th? Oh yeah, Christmas is in 2 weeks. We'll have Christmas music next time. Let's see, where is something to test? Test graphics? No. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Here we go. We'll make a more Christmassy thing here. There you go. Christmas tree color for Christmas. How about that? Although I guess the green lights on the... I guess if you want to say that all the rays being cast are lights, they're also green too. You know what? Let's do something different. About like red, or do we want to do white? Because it's like snow. Nah, that's all bright. Let's do red. Like Christmas ball red. Which I guess would be... yeah, that's Christmas red right there. That looks pretty good. There we go. There, we got the red and the green. Look at that Christmas theme here on Game Dev Scrolls. Merry Christmas, everybody. There we are. But yeah, as you can see, things are performing pretty well. Not too much is going wrong anymore. We did fix the previous bug, which I don't think we have the condition here to show it, but it was... I can grab it here to show it. Because we pasted this in the Discord too to keep track of it and make sure we knew what was going on. Yeah, this. So, this shooting back from here. Did we fix that last time? I don't remember. I don't know if we fixed that on stream or not. If we didn't, let's see, and then there was another one too. Yeah, just copy that one. So there was that one, and then there was also this one where this decided not to allow you to go forward. I don't think we fixed these on stream. So essentially what we ended up doing was to say if both sides of a point resolve to a walkable surface. So if both sides, the pyramid here is walkable on both sides, this was not considered a wall. And then we let it through. So that fixed one issue. The other issue was here, where if there was a gap, a certain amount of gap here, when you walk this way, like this would end up stopping you. Or you know what it was? You would hit this point, and then you could walk past it for no reason. And it ended up being that, it's a little complicated, but essentially, I'll pick a blue here, it might go good. If the ray happens, wow, you can't see that at all. Let me make it a little bigger. So if the ray going here happened to intercept the wall here before it intercepted the edge of the character, so this is after the character moved, but the previous position of the character was something like this. So the character would be impacted by this ray shooting out to detect the wall here because he would be moving far enough to go here. The problem is that it wasn't pushing him to that point correctly, because once it hit the wall here, it would change the way that it was searching for it. And then instead of using the distance that was actually found to the edge of the character, it was using the distance that was recorded, like either to the wall or something like that. Or, oh, you know what it was? It was using the full distance of the last thing that it hit. It's a little complicated, but suffice it to say, what basically happened was, if it collided with a solid and also with the player, it would often, not always, but often take the wrong distance of collision and use that to adjust the player with either pushing him not far enough or pushing him too far and allowing him to get past this. So that was basically what happened, and we resolved it by correcting that mistake in the logic. And then again, this was just, is this side walkable? And is this side walkable? Alright, cool. This does not act as a wall anymore then. And so they were very simple fixes in the long run, but they did take a little bit to get going. Hey Koi! What's up? Got coding. That's what's up on this end. You got a run button. We got Christmas colors. I don't know when you posted the message, the window got buried. I'm sorry. We got Christmas colors now. It's a Merry Christmas stream. And we got run button, which may or may not actually have in the game. Probably won't. I didn't intend for it to have it. Yeah. Yeah, it's Christmas stream. Christmas is in 2 weeks. And he's... Okay, less than 2 weeks, Amber said. It's less than 2 weeks.
13 days!
13 days, she's counting down. See, all the little debug rays and shit, those are little Christmas lights on the Christmas balls. Look at that. Look at them sparkle. Yeah, Merry Christmas. It is that season again. It's starting to feel like it. It really is. So, I also did a little bit of separation here, and it's not complete, but it's at least giving me enough to work with here to start thinking about separating the code. So the player controller and the center point controller are divided up into two things. So the player controller, the center point controller, let's start there. Center point controller gives you the ability to move through the world with collision. It does not handle the code that says when I press right, move to the right, when I press left, move to the left. Does not handle that. However, the player controller is essentially that now. So that code about moving left and moving right and pressing jump, all that's been moved to the player controller. And that was the intention from the beginning, that it was just simpler in the prototype stage, or the earlier prototype stage. We're still in the prototype stage. To get everything in one script to be a little easier to work with. But now we've gotten to the stage where we don't need to do that anymore. So essentially I just kind of cut and paste most of the code, and I remodeled a little bit of it to fit this new structure. But you can think of this player controller as like the driver of an automobile. So say you got a truck, and that's your center point system. But the truck don't drive itself. It needs a pilot. It needs a driver to do anything with. So the driver gives the command move, and the truck moves. You think of it like that. And that way you can sit anything inside that driver's seat now. You could say, I'm going to attach that center point system to an enemy, and I'm going to give the enemy's AI the driver's seat instead of the character, the player character. So you can reuse that component now and put it anywhere. Anything that needs to move into the world and have collision, you can use that now. Hop on it. You'll be in Tennessee on the 21st. Can't wait. Cool. Assume for a family gathering. We're not going anywhere. We're staying right here. So let's see. Yeah, so this, I call it the platform controller inside the script. If it doesn't exist, it'll look for it for the center point system. I also told it to require that component for the player control, so it should exist. And then down here during the normal update, now see, center point system does not update anymore on its own. You notice the check mark here is gone. That check mark if it's here, it determines whether or not the component is receiving update calls or not, being asked to update. The center point system no longer has that because it doesn't update on its own anymore. It has to be called explicitly through a different component, which is exactly what's going on here. So I update the inputs, I check if there's a time controller. If there's no time controller, then don't do anything. Then you check if the platformer or the platform controller reports that it's airborne. If it's not airborne and you press the jump, then you become airborne. Simple enough. Then I check for total walk speed. I say is pressing right or is pressing left. And this code basically got cut and paste from the other one. This is what we were doing before inside the actual move update for the other component, the center point component. And so I just removed it from there and I put it here. And we're doing them right now with the verbs of walk and jump, or walk and fall. What was it now? Yeah, walk and fall. Those might change. We might give it an XY or whatever, but they're very specifically not just an XY coordinate movement. The walk is quite literally I'm attempting to walk forward. Whether I'm on the ground or in the air doesn't matter. You're still like, if you're moving in air left or right, you're kind of still walking mechanically, So we consider that an air walk, so we still use the verb walk for it. Hey, Wild Wolf. And then when you're falling, you're just falling. But the difference here, we're not using X and Y for a specific reason, because if Ricky here is moving here, okay, that is X plus and XY, or X plus and X minus to move back and forth. But that's only because he's standing on a flat surface. But here, you're not walking straight with X left and right, plus and minus. So it doesn't make sense to me to use the X and Y as the actual names for these things, but he's walking. So let's just call it walk. Whether when you're moving in the air left or right, you're still walking, it's just air walk. And the same thing here, you're walking on all these different angled floors. Even though the value is, resolves locally to an X plus, X minus, conceptually, if you're on flat ground here. We don't want to really call it that because it's misleading. Quick question, how do I make a trigger animation go from any state to idle? If I think I understand that correctly, say you have an animation that's triggered by an event, and that special animation plays, and then when it's done, you want the animation to automatically go back to idle. So there's a couple ways you can do that, which may or may not be what you really want to do, depending on the situation. You have an attack animation triggered by a key. Yeah, alright. Well, in that case, the simplest way to do that is, say, we got kick here, actually, is a really good example. So let me move these out of the way. When you open the animator, and you've highlighted your player object, you can say, when the kick is done, make transition. And then what you do is you transition back to here. Now you want to click this line here and highlight it, and it's going to open up in the inspector here. And so this is the transition. It's basically a timeline of when things transition back to other stuff. But you kind of just want to ignore this. If you're doing 2D animation and you don't care about like blending and shit, just ignore that and go to settings. So you have to expand this out here. It says exit time. They do an automatic calculation on what they think it should be, but your exit time is 1. And by 1 they mean 100%. So when the animation is done, it is 0 to 1, so 0% to 100%. 100% done. Then you want to go out. You want to make sure fixed duration is on. Then transition time is 0. And what'll happen is when that animation is completely done playing, it will just revert back to the stand animation from there. I don't think we have the kick programmed anymore, but if it was, then it would go back to stand once it's done. And you can do that for any of them. You can say, oh, okay, well, we're going to make all of these. Pretend these are different attacks. They just all transition back to stand. But you do have to set that setting every time. You do have to click on them. Say exit times 1, transition 0, and then do that for all of them. I mean, I'm going to do that here because it's not what I needed to do, but that's how you would do that in the most basic sense. Now, if you have special needs for these transitions, you might have to get a little more complicated, but for simple things, that should be enough work. Yeah, no problem. It's pretty handy, the animation tools that they give you. Very, very handy in that regard. I probably shouldn't, now knowing the scope of Unity and how big the development is, I'm not surprised that they added stuff like that. But when I first started using Unity, I'm like, wow, they really went the extra mile here. Like, wow, that's really cool. I like that. You don't even have to program it. It's just there. So it's really nice. It's really nice, especially for basic things. You don't need anything super special to happen between animations. It's pretty good. But I don't think there's any sort of script callback that will tell you like when things change. You have to monitor that kind of stuff on your own. Is it kind of like Flash? I'm trying to think now who. Oh yeah. I work on the Star Chaser story game. I'm doing like combat direction and art direction for that now. The lead programmer actually mentioned something about it, how Unity works a little bit like Flash did in some regards, because he used to do a lot of Flash stuff. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. I have never done anything with Flash personally, but I actually started with Multimedia Fusion, if anybody remembers what the hell that is. They call it Fusion now. QuickTime Fusion is the new updated version of it, but long ago it was called Multimedia Fusion. And I got it just before the 1.5 update came out. And that was way back. That was way back. I recreated a Mega Man 7 engine in it, and I started doing Mega Man X1, but the limitations of working in that kind of tool set was quickly becoming apparent, so I had abandoned it at one point. Right now, I don't know how robust it is to use. I know some people still use it. Wallachia is using it. That's coming out sometime soon. The Castlevania, the Lacard Chronicles 1 and 2 were both made in Multimedia Fusion and or its predecessors. Or not predecessors, but it's whatever the word is for the people that came after. Descendants, I guess. Or its descendants. And they worked wonders with that. I was really surprised that they were able to pull off, but you can still see the seams in the development. You can still see the cracks in the game where it's like, yeah, that's the limitation of the engine, and it's not going to get better unless they start using something new. So I've encouraged them to at least look into using other things. You know, it doesn't have to be Unity necessarily, but to get on a more updated platform would benefit them greatly, especially like in technical details like controller support and computer runtime compatibility, all that stuff. Like Unity's really good about that. I assume Unreal is really good about that. I don't see any games that exhibit much wonkiness as a blanket rule, things like that. So hopefully we'll see more development take place in that direction, and that'll be good, because I think their games do deserve to be on more up-to-date software solutions, and it would just help out everybody, their players and everything, to have that. So we'll see how that goes. I'm very excited to see how Wallachia comes out. Obviously, I've consulted on that game, so I know I'm trying to think now, like, what can I say and what can't I say? Because there's things I know that I can't say, and, and I'm not sure what's been released completely yet, but, they got some banger announcements coming. So, keep your eye on that game. Definitely keep your eye on that game. Let's see, let's break the golden rule and go to Twitch, or not Twitch, Twitter. I'm doing this off stream. I'm not letting you see it. The last time we looked something up, it's Twitter. They don't police their content very well.
The people came for titties.
Yeah. Well, they ain't getting it here. I'm not getting banned for the people. I think it's Wallachia Rise of Dracula. And it's not even typing. That's great.
What are you, Amish?
Oh shit, there it is. It's just the Megami Games Twitter here. So, I'm just retweeting some Bloodstained stuff. Yeah, so they upgraded their pixel art. It's gotten a big boost there. I like the wolf. It looks pretty cool. It's the main character. And they've been putting a lot of polish onto it. Steam testing is going great. Oh yeah, they're really saying Steam. Controller support's been improved. Yeah, they actually the Steam client sorted out a lot of their controller problems. Various graphical improvements, and the game runs well with remote play. And you can see that there. And that's a suspicious looking character, so I guess we can talk about that now. I'm looking for an official announcement on that part. Soundtrack. Wow, I don't see anything else. Did they announce that a long time ago? Steam testing. I don't know. Anyway, it's basically Castlevania meets Contra. So if that sounds cool, you probably will like it. So I helped with some of the getting them started and things like that. Oh yeah, there it is. They said they're gonna be on Switch. Okay, I can talk about that. They're getting published by Storybird. Yeah, so they're gonna be on Switch. That's the version I'm getting. Absolutely. Yeah, here's more Kirby. I don't know. Anyway, you can see. It's like an old school looking kind of thing. So if you like Card Chronicles 2, like it's got that kind of look to it. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm not seeing the specific thing I was looking for. Oh well. I'll keep my mouth shut until I see confirmation of anything. So yeah, that's one of them. That's Wallachia. That's coming out sometime soon. They're pretty much wrapping up at this point. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then let's see. Let me pull up Star Chaser Story. But again, I'm doing this off window because God damn it! It just doesn't type. I think it's called Star Chaser Team. You know what? I've retweeted them. Hold on. Let's look at my Twitter feed. Should be fairly tame. Cat Blue. That takes me back. Take me back to those times. I want to go back to those times, man. Oh yeah, Samsho Pocket is included with the Switch version of the new Samurai Showdown, by the way. So that's really cool. If you want that version. Where is it? Where did I? Oh yeah, here we go. Oh, Sacred Star Team. Yeah, okay. So I was working on the combat animation. Now I didn't do the pixel art, but I did the animation timing and the combat feel and when you cancel attacks. And it's still pretty early. but I think it looks pretty cool. There's some stuff, of course, that's gonna evolve with development. So I'm currently working on that. That's what I was talking about. So they, due to the work on Pocket Fighter, they're like, you want to come in as the combat guy and like the art direction? And I'm like, cool, okay. Like, that's cool. We'll do that. That sounds cool. So that is Reese from Shovel Knight. Although Reese didn't originate from Shovel Knight, but he made that cameo appearance, and he's sort of integrated into the Shovel Knight universe now. I mean, they really went far with the character, but Reese's actual roots is going to be, you know, an original story that's going to be this game. So, yeah, busy is an understatement. Well, I've been busy. Oh, yeah, I've been busy. But it's coming along good. It's coming along good, and the pixel artists for this project are pretty damn good. Look at the backgrounds, all that shit. Like that's high end. That's high end shit. Like that's the stuff you had seen around the PlayStation era, when they were still like, hey, we can still make a 2D game, and it looks like amazing. And then it died out because it wasn't 3D. But we're bringing it back, baby. So yeah, this one's got a long ways to go. But they're making rapid progress, and so it looks pretty good, and it'll only get better from here. So again, there's only so many things I can talk about here. Oh yeah, the Gamescom demo that they had, the old demo. Like there's two characters, and you can switch back and forth. It's pretty cool. So we're using Unity now. Well, yeah, we as them, the Sacred Star team. I guess I'm part of that, so it is we. They're using Unity now. Now this one was Game Maker, so they're kind of getting back to where they were. But you know, Unity's got better scalability in that regard, so it's definitely going to help development to get there. But you know, so we're getting there. It's looking good. Is going to be looking really good soon, so keep an eye out on that. So enough plugging for all the shit that I do. This is kind of the stream for that, though. This is the other stream. This is the not Pocket Fighter stream, so that helps. Alundra was amazing. Yeah, I've played part of the second one, but I haven't played the first one, and I really wanted to. I just never got around to it. But it looked really cool. Like, I was like, oh, this is like the last bastion for 2D stuff. You know? So, with that out of the way, let us implement something new. So one thing I want to do, and I've sort of prepped for this by adding solid platform and thin platform. Now we probably won't get to thin platform quite yet, but these are different layers in Unity, and layers aren't like graphical layers, although you can certainly use them to try to do something like that. But layers in a general sense in Unity are like planes of existence. So if you put if you have an object, say like a boulder that needs to hit the ground and roll, you would put that boulder to interact with the solid platform layer, that plane of existence, the solid object plane of existence, if you want to put it that way. And then you can separate them. So you can say fit platforms are a different existence. So you could then say the boss can interact with the solid plane of existence, but not the thin plane of existence. Or the player is also on their own plane of existence. You could say that the player cannot interact physically with the player plane of existence, but he's got the solid and the thin. You know, you can mix and match this kind of stuff when you get to coding, because raycasting can be filtered by layer. So you can say, I only want results that are on the solid platform and the thin platform layer, and we're going to ignore everything else, which is exactly what we're going to do right now. So on the player, a center point system, we're going to have to do a layer mask. So let's find a good spot for that. Let's see. Yeah, it's just fine right here. So public. I think it's just layer mask, yeah. Public layer mask. Ground layers. Oh, you know what? Collision layers. Use a more broad term there. So if we pop out, let it do its compiling. Now we see here collision layers, and we can, I believe we can select multiple. Yeah, that's where it says mixed. You can select multiple of them, or you could say nothing, or everything. Now Unity puts in default, I think, transparent effect, and ignore raycast, water, and UI. I think these are default ones. So if you go up here where you add something to a layer, yeah, see here, layers 0 through 7 are built in. So I don't know. I don't know if these really do anything special, or if they're just names they figured to use. I don't know why one's water. I'm not really sure, to be honest. But I did make solid platform, thin platform, and layer as the custom ones, the ones that we'll be using. So let's say nothing, and then we'll select solid platform and thin platform, and those will be what we collide with. Now we're going to make this a little more nuanced so that landing is going to contain solid and thin, but jumping or ceiling or side collisions will not do the thin platforms. And honestly, that's how you do those. You just disable everything except the landing on part. Yeah, see you later, Koi. That's alright. You can catch it on YouTube, remember, when it's done. Oh yeah, speaking of which, this ain't for kids. Hey, get off my stream. I swear to God, if you cause me a $42,000 fine, I will hunt you down personally. I will sell you to make that fine. See you later, Koi. Have a good one. Oh man, YouTube's on fire again too. They're just burning. Every day it's something new, man. I swear to God, I'm on there. I don't get any ad revenue. Like, I didn't even bother signing up. I didn't even bother attempting it. Because it's not worth it, man. It's not worth it. I just put that shit up there so you guys can watch it. So, I never expect to see a dime off of YouTube. Not a single one. So, whatever, man. It is what it is. Let's see. Okay, so now we want to actually apply these. And the way we do that is we've got to find everywhere that we do a raycast. So this might be a little bit efficient. I'm not going to bother with the following code because that's getting renovated anyway. But, well, yeah, alright, there's probably only a few in here. So see these raycast all, comma, layer mask. Boop, that's it. It's actually an integer, essentially, or it converts to an integer. And they use bit masking. I'm not going to get into all that right now. You can look it up if you want. Bit mask is like... Alright, I won't go through the whole thing, but it's important to know what it is. So, like, when you have a number in binary, you know, you have ones or zeros, and basically, well, what that is that first one equates to a 1. So, and I'll make this really quick. So if we have this in binary, this equates to a 1, this equates to a 2, this equates to a 4, this equates to an 8, and then the 4th digit would equate to a 16, and then the 5th digit would equate to a 32. And the idea is that if you have 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, that's a 3. because it's the 1 and the 2 are selected, so you add them together. If you want 5, then you do 1 0 1, and that's a 1 and a 4, and together that makes 5. And so if you do 1 0 0 8 or 1 0 0 1, then that's the 1 field and the 8 field, and you'll get 9. If you add 1 1 0 1, well, then you get 11, because that's the 1 and the 2 and the 8. See how that works? So here's the way that bitmask is supposed to work. And we'll back it up so we only see the 8 here to make it a little easier to see. You can look at each of these bits, because when you have a boolean, a true or false, it's the same thing. False is 0 and true is 1, essentially. That's a very vast simplification. There's a few other things going on there, but that's the basic idea. 0 is false, 1 is true. If you take an integer, which is just a whole number that you would normally fill out like this, like if you get the 1 0 1, that's an integer, that's 5, because you've got the 1 and the 4, like I said before. But you can treat each of these digits, or not even digits, but these bits, that's why we call it a bit mask, as an individual on or off state. So when I select the layers, the first layer is off, the second layer is on, the third layer is off, the fourth layer is off, the fifth layer is on. That's how you do it. And then you mask it out and you say, well, I'm only going to look at the second bit. I'm gonna mask out the rest of them and only look at this. And is that on? Yes, it is. And I know that equates to layer 2. So layer 2 is an acceptable thing to do, or an acceptable one to use here. And so you have, well, you said layer 0, layer 1, 2, 3, 4. So layer 1 and layer 4, if you start at 0, are the ones that the raycast will collide with. It's a little tricky. Actually, that was zoomed out a little bit. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully you can see it all right. But that's basically what a bit mask means. And you do a specific thing in programming to do it. You can look up the syntax if you want. But it's a way to shove into an integer, which is a very small bit of data, to get multiple on or off statements out of it. It's just an optimization thing. It's pretty cool. It's used in a few spots in Unity. So it's something that Unity usually handles it on its own. You don't have to do it, but you can take that technique and use it for yourself. And to be honest, that's how we send inputs through the network when we're playing multiplayer games and we need to send the player's controller inputs to the other side. That's how we do it. We crunch that thing down into an integer and we use a bit mask to say, oh, the 0 bit is the A button, the 1 bit is the B button, etc., etc. And then we just send that one tiny little integer, and that's super, super, super tiny. And it's only so many bits. Might be a byte, might be a byte and a half. Like, it can get really small, and just shoot it out, shoot across the network. You keep your network transmissions as small as possible so that they'll get there in the fastest amount of time that they can. So that's another thing you can learn from your Unity using that and apply it to everything. Well, not everything, but the appropriate locations. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to highlight this, Control F to search, and say in current document, I want to find all. And we'll pin that, and we'll use that as our guideline here. So we did that one. we're gonna do this one. This one's commented out, so we'll go on to this one. It's probably hard to read that because it's so small. And here. And here. Actually, a couple of these we're going to change it. Yeah, so let's see. One of these is going to be for checking the reverse ray to find the player. I'm not sure which one that is. Might be this one, actually. Yeah, reverse ray. So there's two ways we can accomplish this. Either we check what layer that the player is on and shove it into here, or we just take every hit that comes our way, find the player, and do what we need to do. Which is probably the easier one at this point. But we can revisit that later if we need to. But the one here is definitely that. But I'm thinking that we do definitely want to know exactly if we hit a wall or not. So can we check, see if the collision here is from our collider set? Might actually, you know what, it might actually be better just to have this in here. Oh, I'm gonna put it there for a second, but we're gonna make a second copy here. Plus player. So this is gonna be private. And let's see, do we have an awake. So this is going to be, oh man, this might be a pain. Let me see if I remember how to actually do this. First, we're going to make it equal. Equals key is sticking. Something got in there. Let's see, we can make this equal to that, right? Now here's the thing, how do we add the player? Can I just plus equals? Oh man, it's bitmask, so I don't think that's gonna work right. I might actually have to look it up. You guys might be in luck. I don't use it very often. I know the concept behind it, but the syntax bothers me. You never remember the damn thing. I think if you add to it, it's gonna mess up. But who knows? I mean, they're layer mask structures, so maybe it'll work. I don't know. Let's see. I really don't know what holds the. Oh yeah, here's layer. Int game layer. Oh, it's an int though. Maybe? Alright, I guess we'll find out. It won't be too hard to check it. We'll just kind of run it and see what happens. If it's wrong, then we'll have to look it up. Okay, so I'm gonna step one frame. And we're gonna look at the debug here because it's private value, so it's not seen normally. It just says mix, but I can't view it. Okay, we're gonna make it public then, just so I can see it and what it does. But only, actually, you know what? We don't have to make it public. We just serialize field. And that way, it'll show up as an editable field here, even though it's not public. Unity lets you do that, which is actually really nice. The serialization power in Unity is very cool. Okay. No, it added transparent. So yeah, like I thought, that didn't work out too well. should be player here. Because we're getting the transform.game object, and this is the game object, which also contains like the tag and stuff. So yeah, I had a feeling that wouldn't work. What if I do? If I do that, I wonder if that would help. Cast it to a layer mask first, then try to add it. I don't know. Let's see. Nope. Transparent effects. Okay. Alright. That's obviously not working. Alright. C# bitmask. It's got different operators for it. Like you do ampersands and things like that. That's an enum. It's the and, single and. Susan is included. Names and Susan. Alright, this guy's asking a question. Let's back out for that. The MSDN is usually the worst written. Oh, this is a forum post too. Okay, just show me. Find and use bitmask. Sharp helper. I'll try that one. There we go. Oh, they're telling you to use flags and shit. Okay. For example, you could use the following code to create a value that includes both value 3 and value 5. Okay, that's what we're gonna use. Yeah. Okay, so we want... Where is it here? So what we want is this, I think. Yeah, like I said, they use different operators for this. I'm not entirely sure why, but it is what it is. It's fine. If it works, it works. And it's still fucked up. Really? Let's put a breakpoint here. $10. Oh, that just values. Yeah, it's 760. It's hard to tell what it is just by looking at it. I mean, I don't know. It's 10. I don't know. What's 10 on binary? Hold on. So again, that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 8. That should be enough to get us to 10, right? So 0. Yeah. That's 10. Yeah, 8, 9, 10. But that means 2 of them would be flagged. Unless this doesn't work the way I thought it did. I was pretty sure it was a bitmask though. That's why it's an int, right? Oh no, it's just literally 10 here. Oh, that's what they meant. It's layer ID 10. Well, shit. It's literally an int of 10, number 10. Alright, that's not what I expected it to be, and that's why it's not working right. So this value is not meant to be concatenated with a bitmask. It's just saying, hey, this is number 10. Oh man, alright, hold on. It's the only layer thing. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna do a little exploring here. Name to layer. Layered name. Get mask. Given a set of layer names is defined by each built-in or user layers, returns the equivalent layer mask of all. Oh, you get it. You literally have to send it strings? Oh, that's right. Oh, it's the most inefficient thing in the whole world. Okay. Shit, how did I do this before? I did this in Pocket Fighter, but it's been many moons. Alright, hold on. It's not the Pocket Fighter stream, but we're gonna pillage code from Pocket Fighter. So you get a 2-in-1 project today. How about that? Pocket Fighter stuff. Okay, I did this to do the view window. So like how there's that wallpaper around the gameplay in Pocket Fighter, and it's got the frames on the game window. So I'll show what that means if you haven't followed that project. And it takes a minute. Gotta warm up. It's a big project. So wait, there you go. Okay, so see how I have the background here? And like if I move the window, you can see the frame is this Neo Geo, Super Neo Geo Pocket, but there's that background wallpaper behind it. The way that I achieve this is by rendering the game twice. One uses the layer that shows this stuff, and the other is everything else. So this stuff exists on a different layer, and this exists in its own layer off to the side. So if the camera in game were to ever move upward, which I might be able to do, yeah, so if the main camera were to move upward, see, it doesn't render itself, because this camera is set to not specifically render this stuff up here. They're on different layers to give kind of an idea of where that is, or what we're trying to do here. So, here, like here. This has the code for it. It's probably horribly inefficient, but we'll see. We'll get rid of you. Camera found. Does that. Oh, here. Create mask with exception. Oh, I used a WizU tone. Okay, what'd I do? Create mask with exceptions. Here. Okay, so I send it a string. Names, get layer names. Let's see. I can get all of them. But we only want certain ones. Man, this is a pain. I don't think I even touched converting a layer mask back to IDs to get names. I just said, let's get all of them. Alright, let's put the thinking cap on then. What can we do here? What can we really do here? The layer mask dot layer to name only takes an integer of a single layer and gives you a single name. But a layer mask is essentially a bit mask. As far as I'm aware, you can't just analogously throw a layer mask into here. It won't work. We want to take a layer mask, decompose it into its components, and then redo that after. Okay. I'm starting to form a picture in my head on how this is going to work, but it's not going to be simple. To make things easier on myself in the future, to do it right, is going to take a little extra work. Okay, first things first. Let's go back to the mansion project. I'm going to leave Pocket Fighter open because we might need to do something with it. But first things first. Layer Mask Plus. It's not going to be a mono behavior, it's going to be its own thing. So I probably will need to do the engine. Okay. Runtime initialization on load method. What is that? Dear God, what is that? Alright, well basically what this does is when the game first starts, this will run in the first frame of the game. It runs in a specific spot when the game starts up, but if you want to water it down, it runs on the first frame of the game. Anytime, anywhere. This method, and it can be static, I think, too. So it's like a callback or delegate, and it runs it at a specific time and only once. So you can use it to initialize systems, no matter if you start in one scene or another. You can use it to load in system objects and stuff. I do it for the collision, like the hit system has an object that gets loaded through this method, no matter what scene that you're playing in. The thing with the wallpaper, where the game shows on top of a wallpaper and it resizes dynamically, that's also loaded automatically with this. So I don't need to put it in every scene that needs it, because the entire game needs it. So it needs to be loaded at any point. And that's why I can start the game in the fight scene in Pocket Fighter, and all that stuff loads in automatically. It doesn't matter where I start the game to test it. All the wallpaper and the game window show up all the time. And that's because of this. This is the thing I didn't know existed for a long time, and I've been trying to figure out how to do things that would do just that. And so then I think AJ told me about it. I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. So we'll just use that, and that's been invaluable for that kind of thing. But we're going to do the same thing here, because whenever the game starts up, we want this to run immediately so that it can be used as a resource later on. And what exactly I mean by that, you'll see here in a second. So I'll just call it runtime init for now. We can call it whatever we want. And I'm going to say static private do I want to do, you know what? Let's do this. Public struct. Class. Struct. We'll just struct. Public struct layer def. So layer definition. Public int layer ID. And public string layer name. So we're going to do, actually these won't change, so I'm just going to do an array. The amount of layers will never change once the game has started running. In the editor it may change, but it will never change when it starts running. So we want, we'll do 0 here. Layer defs equal layer def 0. Oh wait, hold on. This can't be a number. New layer def 0. Dying here. Oh, we want a private static void init layer defs, and we're just going to init for initialize player defs. We're just going to put it here, and we will do layer defs will equal new layer defs, and we gotta take a look at the Pocket Fighter code here. Create mask with exception. Mask layers, new string, get layer names. Here. We want all of them, so let's just copy this wholesale and put it in here. Yeah, we'll keep it intact. Was this shoots back an array, right? Okay. So var layer names equal get layer names, and then false. Oh, we don't have to. It's a default parameter, so it's false by default. So then, however many layer names dot length will be the length of also this layer def, and then for int I equals 0, I is less than length I plus plus, and we're gonna do our cool stuff inside here. I'm just gonna change this to layer defs so that it is more explicitly about layer defs. So layer def I equals new layer def, and then layer def I dot I'll be honest, I don't know if it will give me every layer that doesn't have a name. I really don't know what ID it's supposed to be, but we can calculate that. So the name, hello, is going to be layer names I, so they correlate, and then layer defs I dot ID is going to equal layer mask layer name to layer, and that should give me, we'll just feed the name in there, and that should give me that. Yeah, that'll work. Could make this more fancy, but I think that should be enough. Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm thinking of optimizing it now. Alright, let's see. Oh, hello, doggy.
What you doing? What you doing? What you doing? What you doing?
You come say hi?
Hello.
Don't lick me with that tongue, you lick butts. I don't want no tongue, butt tongue.
What you doing?
Yeah, I know, you come over, say hi, hello. Good doggy.
What?
She's just staring right at me. What do you want? No time to play, I got shit to do. I'm thinking of making this a class, and then saying that the constructor requires a layer ID. And that, so this dot layer ID equals that, and then layer name equals layer mask dot layer. Oh, I'm sorry, I did this backwards. Layer name this.layer name equals layer name. And then after that, layer mask name to layer. And we'll do that. That way it's automatic. So then these will then turn into... Yeah, these will turn into properties then. So public, or I'm sorry, get and private set. And we'll do that for this too. Oh, yeah. Semicolons at the end. That way we can set them in here. But if you want to try to set them later, you're not able to, because it can only be constructed with this. And so that if you copy this class somewhere else, it can't be changed from the outside. The next box just got announced. The next box. Didn't they already... Don't we already know what that is? We already know they're doing it. Is that the name though? The next box? That's a dumb name if that's the name. Like, sorry Microsoft, but your names have always been a little weird. Especially the last one. What's special about the next box? Give me all the news. Sweet juicy news. Alright, then we'll just do it this way. And that will initialize our layer defs. So what we can do now is we can say, we can do, public static layer def get layer def int layer ID. Oop. And return. But you could get a null. You could get a null under this situation. So if layer ID is less than 0 or yes, man, I've been doing so much SQL coding for work. I'm like, oh no, it's not that, it's this. I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. It's this. Get my syntax mixed up. All right. Or layer ID is greater than or equal to layer defs dot length. Then return null. So then otherwise we know that the layer ID is valid and we can return layer defs. Oh shoot, no, we don't know. We can't do it that way. We can't do it that way. That's just indexing. We want the actual layer ID, which may not be the index order. And it may not be. So, alright, hold on. Alright, we want to do this a couple ways. A little roundabout, but here we go. Static public list layer def. No, we don't want that. I'm sorry. We want dictionary. Because again, the index order is not... Dictionary? Dictionary? Oh, it needs two, right. Layer defs by ID. And then we need layer defs by name. This will be string. So dictionary basically ties a value. Instead of having an index number, you tie a value to it. So we can say the string of the layer name is equivalent to this layer def, or the ID is equivalent to that, because they may not be in order to be a proper index. So, we can easily add here. Yeah, let's do it this way. So if, I'm sorry, not if. How do we want to do this? Layer defs. Let's do ID first. Add. We need to tell it what key, in other words, what ID. And this will tell us right here. Everything's encapsulated in here, so we'll just do that. Layer ID, and then the actual thing itself. And then layer defs by name. Add. Layer name, and then the layer def, and this will fill out those lists for us. So we can go here and then say, actually, yeah, this will be a little different here. So layer defs by layer ID, right? And we say layer ID. Oh, hold on. First we need to check if it's there or not. We need to know contains key, layer ID. If it does not, you're getting a null. Then, if it is, get rid of that. Then we can just do this. Now this is not an index. This is using the ID that we gave it. It'll make more sense when I do it by name. You'll see here. So get layer def string layer name. So you could put a string in here. Oh, yeah, layer name. So this is by name. Now see, it takes it. I could put a string in here. So layer name could equal player. And it would find it in this dictionary and give the one that's associated with the name player. So that's how that works. That way we can get it by both. And I won't bother giving an index thing because there's no reasonable way that you would know what the index is for these different strings. Yeah, all that should work. Okay, so what's all this setup for? All this setup is so that I can do stupid dumb bullshit with combining things together in perhaps a more interesting and expected way. So this is going to kind of suck because it's using strings, but create layer mask with exception. We get the names. What are we really doing here? Get mask, from an array of strings. Yeah, alright. Well, this is gonna be fun. So, layer mask plus, we're gonna add another thing here for public static layer mask, get layer mask. And trying to think now what I want to do here. There's a couple routes that I could go. for really making good layer mask stuff. Like I could actually allow you to add them into each other to like create like, well, it's layer mask plus, right? I could actually let you fill it. Yeah, okay. Well then. Let's go whole hog, fuck it. Let's do it up. Let's do it up right. So we're gonna allow you to add layer defs to a layer mask plus. So we need a private list layer def. Oh. Proper capitalization. Uh-oh. Oh, it's just layer def, right? Yeah. So layer defs equal new list of that. Now you won't be able to add to that right off the bat, but public bool add layer. Add to mask. I think do it that way. Yeah. And then layer def. Layer def. So if layer defs dot contains, why is this unhappy? Already contains layer defs. All layer defs. Oop, what I do? Rename. All layer defs. Yeah. All layer defs. Oh. So this is layer defs. That contains layer def. And return false because it's already added. Already added. And if not, then layer defs dot add layer def. And we're gonna have to recreate the mask. Actually, you know what? We can do that on the fly. We don't need to do that right here. You'll see what I mean in a minute. And then we want to subtract layer mask. Subtract from mask. If it doesn't contain it. Actually, you know what we can do? We don't need to do that. We just do remove. And that returns bool automatically. You know if you did it right or not. I mean, it's inconsequential whether you get the confirm yes or no that it actually did. It doesn't matter. It's not in there. It's really what you want. But it's nice to know if you need to actually check for debug purposes if it actually happened or not. You know, that can help. Okay, so one thing I do want to add here is public static operator. Implicit goes first. Implicit operator bool layer def LD. There. Shout out to LD. Look at that, layer def LD. So if LD is equal to no, then return false. Otherwise, return true. This is just a quick and dirty way to be able to do this. If not layer def return does not exist or is not valid. Is not valid. Return false. It's basically what it's saying. It's just checking if this is null or not. I can put other code in there to validate, you know, that the layer is actually made correctly, but you can't make one without actually making one correctly. So that's what it is. And this is all unhappy now. Okay, so we can add and subtract to our mask, but the mask is not actually created. We're going to create it in real time based on this. So we also want a flag here. Private. Bool mask was edited false. Actually went to make it true at the start. And so we will also make it true if that happens. Or I actually have to segment this. So bool was removed. If was removed, then that's also true, and return was removed. Put the cache set because we have to check it before we return it. So the removal will say that something was actually removed. Now this is going to be, what we're going to do is when this is true, we're going to create the mask when it's asked for. So we can do public layer mask. Layer mask. And we're going to use a property for this. And we'll also have a private layer mask, the actual data that's stored. So when we get it, if mask was edited, then we want to generate the layer mask current version of the layer mask. And the way to do that is to say that layer mask here equals layer mask dot get mask, and it wants an array of strings, right? So we're gonna give it layer defs dot to array. Oh wait, no, that's not gonna work. Hold on. Because that's the layer defs themselves. So we can. We're gonna do an extra function here, or method. Private, you know, public. Okay. Public void. Oh, I'm sorry, not void. String array. Get layer mask names, or get mask layer names. So we're going to make a list, temporary list of strings, and we're going to call them layer names. We'll capitalize that correctly. Then a for loop, I equals 0, I is less than layer defs dot length count because it's a list I plus plus. We're gonna say layer names dot add layer defs I name layer name, and then at the end we're gonna return layer names dot to array, and that will get us a list of all the layer names that are in here. And what we'll do here is just do that right here. Boom. It'll generate a new layer mask every time we ask for it if it needs to. Because this property, when you call on it, it's like running a special method every time you call this value. It'll look, hey, was it edited? Cool, yeah, alright, regenerate that and then ship it out. But if it wasn't edited, then we just ship it out and it optimizes it. Hey, hey, hey! It's my DM buddy from Twitter. What's up? We're just doing a whole bunch of code and shit. Oh, yeah! I think I mentioned, if I haven't, AJ sent out some gift subs to a bunch of people, so that's really cool. So I'm pretty sure I mentioned it last time, but it deserves another mention because it's really cool. So AJ gave gift subs to people, so one must have landed on you. So thanks to AJ for that. Yeah, that's it. And we'll just make a new layer mask if we need to at that moment. And every time, if it's already generated, it won't keep doing it over and over and over again. So this is our layer mask plus, essentially. And then so yeah, we could do this with layer defs. We could also do this with integers. So, or we'll do it with names first. String layer name, add the mask. So we want var def equals get layer def by name. So layer name if def, because we did that bool operator, the implicit operator bool. If def, then add to mask the def and do that. Oh, right. We're gonna need to encapsulate this. We need to return true. Actually, no. Nope, we don't even need to do that. Let's do it even more simple, because this will reject it. This is gonna check anyway if it's valid. So we'll just return this and let this send a rejection method if it wants, or message rather. And we can do that with subtract as well. So we want string layer. Oh, and time's up. We'll finish this up real quick. And I gotta go. Get the heck out of here. I gotta go to sleep or I'll die. I gotta be up at 5:30. Kill me. It's 9:30 now. It's gonna be a long night. So we don't really have time to test this, but it's not that complicated, so it should be alright. So you can add by layer name or by layer def or whatever. Yeah, I can make a... That's init layer defs. Yeah, I think it'll be fine. Because it's going to do on runtime. Well, I was going to say, if this ever gets pulled in edit mode though, it's not going to have those layer defs to follow up on. I don't know whether they'll actually be needed or not. The idea of having the layer defs so that you didn't have to translate the layer names back and forth, so you could look up the ID or the name and get back this already pre-calculated layer def, and then let's see, how is this working? Layer names. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the idea is that because it takes time to translate between name and ID, that you could just pull, using the dictionary, you could just pull out the layer ID and then go through the whole thing and just get the one you want, and then I have to keep translating back and forth. Yeah, I'm East Coast. So yeah, it's 9:38 right now. It's killing me. Yeah, I don't really have time to test it, but it should be alright. I don't see anything too glaring. Like I said, it's not too... the only thing is if you're in the Unity editor here and you try to generate this, it might not be too happy about it. I don't know. I have to think about that a little carefully, because if the layers get updated and then the layer refs are going to break, if they get reinitialized, so I'm just going to leave it as is for now. We'll say that it's a runtime only utility, but you get the idea. You should be able to just reference them by name and everything should be happy in that part. So yeah, we'll just leave it at that for now. This should work out alright. And so basically what I'm going to do here is, instead of using I don't know how to put it. Instead of like adding them together like this, I do... Oh, music stopped. Let's restart it. There. I can now add them together by adding the names. What I really want to do is to be able to say, combine two of these masks together. So I would use the public static implicit operator plus, I believe. And this may or may not be 100% correct. It might be a different notation. But then you can have layer mask plus A and layer mask plus B. And then in here, you want to make a new layer mask. So layer mask plus combined equals new layer mask plus overloadable unary operator expected. Alright, hold on. Where is... let's go to Google. C# operator override plus. Got it. Plus plus? No, I just want normal. So no, this is what I want. Plus. Oh, this might be what I'm looking for. Pocket back here. Alright. Public set. So theoretically it would be this. Okay, yeah, it's happy about that. Maybe? Maybe not. Oh, okay. It's got to return value. Right. Return combined. Yeah, that's what we want. So what I want to do is combined.add add to mask, but we don't have an add. We don't have one to add from the layer mask itself, so we'll do one of those two. Layer mask plus If layer mask plus, then return false. There's no implicit operator here, so public static implicit operator bool layer mask plus LMP shorthand. If LMP equal to null, return false, otherwise return true, and that lets me do this. Except it doesn't. Why doesn't it? Public static implicit operator bool. User-defined conversion must convert from the enclosed type. Wire mask. Oh, I forgot the plus. There we go. Then we'll go up in here, add the thing so we can do a for loop again. I equals 0, I is less than layer mask plus dot. Oh, I don't know how. I can't get the list. Okay. Yeah, I'll do it this way. Public layer defs. Send back an array. So return layer defs dot to array. Oh. So we can extract that. Incoming layers. Length I plus plus, and we'll just add to mask the layer defs that are in here. So incoming layers dot I, and it will automatically, because it's going back to here, it will set that flag mask was edited if it needs it, and if it doesn't, then whatever. So now we can add the mask that way, and we need to be able to subtract from mask that way as well, which literally just turns into this, and that's it. So now that we have that, we can go down here and say that the plus operator is going to return a new combined one. So we're going to add mask from A, and we're going to add mask of B. And trying to think if we need to look to see if one of these is null or not. We do if A, then do that, and then if B, then do that. I think that'll work. And if they're both null, then you're just gonna get a blank one back. Like, might be, I don't know if it's a good idea to kind of do that null check, because then you're kind of not paying attention to what you have, but at the same time, I don't know. It might not be terrible. Actually, you know what? That null check happens anyway. It actually happens anyway. I don't know if the compiler would actually automatically throw a thing and be like, you can't add a null. What are you doing? Because see, it's going to check the null right here anyway. So we'll just add them. It's going to happen anyway. So, with all that out of the way. With all that out of the way, now we can finally, I'm just going to do it here. So might as well at this point. I'm going to take a little more time. Yeah. So instead of layer mask, we're going to do layer mask plus. We're going to do an array. And we're going to get the player layer by using the ID. So we're going to do yeah, that's going to be layer mask plus. So theoretically, we should be able to do this. Actually, to make this even easier. I know I'm getting into bullshit now on top of bullshit, but you could just do this. Could do that too. This might actually be even easier in this case. I don't need that. So if this is null, I guess, or no, because that's a fail condition. I was gonna say I could put or there's no length there, but this for loop will not go if there's no length anyway. Yeah, so really I don't even need the extra shit about the addition, because I can just do add to mask, and literally the collision layers are an array of layer masks, so they'll go right in. Now, and then combine that add transform dot object dot layer, and that's an ID, so it should go through. It won't, because we need layer mask plus dot get def with the ID. There we go. I mean, I probably could add it here. Layer def, layer name. I do have layer name. Okay, might as well. Layer ID. Layer ID. Might as well. It's easy enough. See, when you start making things modular like this, you can just do this. Boom, done. Already added, because we already had the ability to search layer def by layer ID. So then I don't need to do this. I just give it the layer ID, and that's it. And then when I do combined dot layer mask, boom, it makes it for me and goes. See, now that's how it all comes together. I think it was important to show that, so that's why I stuck in there a little bit over time here. Everything actually came. Was it dog snoring? you snoring? I don't know, I don't hear it now. This is where all that stuff comes together. This is where the whole system comes together. And we'll run it. Make sure that I'm not blowing smoke up everybody's ass. Let's let it compile. Did it have an error? Yep, got a whole bunch of errors, so I don't like it. Oh, yeah. Okay, it's because this is got a different name. So right, whatever I suppose. Alright, hold on. I need to think about it. I need to rename this to something else. Solid collision layers. Solid collision layers. No, layer mask. Alright, so the reason that I renamed it here is because I wanted all the other instances, like the 40, or not 40, there's probably like 6 instances of that name to go. So then I'm going to say, I'm going to rename this one instance of it, because I want the other name to stick. So I'm just going to paste the new name here, Solid Collision Layers. But then there's going to be collision layers. Yeah, solid collision layer mask. Collision layer mask plus player. Solid. I'm gonna keep the same names if we can. Okay. So solid collision player mask plus caret plus player is gonna be generated. But the solid collision layer mask should be equal to yeah, actually before the player gets added we can do it here. This is just the normal stuff. So then we can say combined dot player mask is equal to that one, and then we add the player. Now add player, add the normal solid layers, or add the requested solid layers, generate that mask. Now add the player, generate the second mask. So and this will be that's Tim's things. Tim's code always errors, didn't you know? That's very mean, I shouldn't say that. Okay, we're gonna play it, and assuming that it doesn't. Oh, Jesus Christ, what happened? Oh, Tim's thing's freaking the fuck out. Okay. It doesn't matter, we'll just keep it paused here. So if we go to debug now. Oh, we won't be able to see it. Well, we'll be able to see the first one. That did not work. That did not fucking work. God damn it! God damn it! Why? What happened? Blowing smoke up everybody's ass now. Alright, fuck that. That one, fuck off. Why? Oh shit, this gotta turn off too. So that's an optimization thing, but get layer mask names. Goes to the layer diffs. Adds the layer name to an array. I don't know why that is not working. One thing I think of is that this ain't working, so it's not getting anything to add to it. Alright, god damn it, I don't really have time to debug this. Okay, real quick. Is this even running? It is. Okay. Get names. There are 8, yeah. So when you're all done, player deaths, and a whole bunch of shit. Okay. Yeah, alright. Okay, now that's working, that's fine. Oh. You, wait, hold on, you telling me that shit doesn't even... Oh, that's Pocket Fighter. God damn it. No, fuck off. Yeah, I know, it's gonna get all pissed off because the wrong project is in here. Here, go away. You telling me that this shit don't even catch? What's going on? Oh yeah, there it goes. Is it doing this before the runtime in it then? It's got 0 in it. Oh shit. Yeah, of course. Wow, I'm retarded. Alright, hold on. So 2 things. This is actually a really quick fix. 2 things. 1, I'm retarded. It's just flat out. I didn't actually go and add the layers that I wanted, so of course there's no layers. Wherever the hell that may be. And, okay, 2 things. 1 is that layer mask plus is not serializable. It's not serializable, then it's not going to show up in the field. To add things to. Damn it, but it doesn't have a default constructor. Shit, okay, this may not work as expected. Okay, this is gonna take longer than I thought. That's, yeah, it's a thing of layer mask pluses. Shit. I don't think that's gonna work. I could try it. We'll see if it pops up, but I don't think it'll pop up. I think it's gonna have a really bad time trying to resolve a thing that doesn't have a default constructor. I'd have to do collision layers. Oh, man, let's see. Yeah, but you can't do anything with it because there's no default constructor. I'd have to give it names, translate names into layers. Fuck me. Did I build that in? Oh, okay, I built it. Yeah, there's only an array of name or pluses. Yeah. Okay, quickest fix. This is kind of quick and dirty, but it's the only thing I have time to do right now. So these solid collision layers, they're gonna have to be names. And I gotta make sure that I do the names right. This is stupid, quick and dirty, and inefficient, but it's the only way it's gonna work right now, so. So what I need to do is I need to get the names of the things that I want. So I called them solid platform and thin platform. Solid platform, thin platform. And they have to be exact. Now you don't want to do it this way, but it's the only way this shit's gonna work. So the only other thing I want to do is go to here and serialize the second one. We'll do a pause and play, and nothing. Something stupid blown up here. Something ain't right. Alright, well, we'll have to cut it here. I don't know what's wrong with it at this point. It's being a son of a bitch, so I apologize. I will go over the fix next time as I figure it out after this. Yeah. Add mask, add mask. Yeah, unfortunately this ain't gonna work, so it should be making the mask. If the mask, yeah, it was edited. It's true. True. And when you get layer mask from here, which is just this, it should make it from the names. Here, yeah. I don't know. Whatever. Well, we'll figure it out next time, I guess. So, apologies for that. Well, we got some coding done. At least we've got it on paper. Just have to figure out what's going on. It could be an order of operations things where the layer defs are just not. They don't exist yet. By the time it's trying to pull in that data, it's very possible. So I don't know if that's actually the case or not. But yeah, we'll figure it out. One thing that we might have to do, and this is what I was afraid of with order operations. I guess I closed it. Regarding whether or not the layers will exist when we try to do something with them. This is exactly what I was worried about. Basically, we want to run this initialization. Sure, we want to run it here, but we want this to also run if we try to, say, get a layer def. But we only want it to initialize once. So, it could be as simple as private static bool did init false. Oh, I closed it. That's why I didn't see it. So if did init return already initted, and then this becomes true here. And you can say whenever you want to get it. You do that. I don't know if that'll fix it or not. I doubt it. That's everything, but possible. Oh shit, that worked! Oh shit, look at that. And that's the one with the player in it. Hallelujah! The stream is saved! Alright, perfect. Now I need to get the hell out of here before I dive. Not sleeping. Yeah, that was it. It was just not initializing the layer defs in time. So this did not run in time before Awake ran on the center point controller. So keep that in mind. These things do not run before Awake. There we go. Alright. The system works when I do it right. There we go. So we did take extra time to do it, but now we've got a robust layer system that we can basically use anywhere. Now I'm going to make additions so you can get the names here and, you know, without having to go through all this crap to make that a little better. But, you know, it works. The system does work. So, cool. And I guess that's it for now. I'm happy with that. I'm going to save it and close it before I screw something up and get into a whole tangled mess. See how I look good now? Everything's working. We're going to save and shut down. So, anyway, thanks everybody for hanging out with me tonight. We have patrons to read out. This is a Patreon patron-funded stream. So we've got Zombie Killer, we've got Miguel A. Tabasco, Corporal Chungus, Mike Cruz, Taryn Williams, AJ, and Bryce Nagoinum, who are our top patrons. And if you too would like to become a patron, the link for that is down below. We've got early builds of the projects that we work on. We've got code samples, things like that. So check that out if you want to support this stream and my personal efforts and all this. We got a Discord, which I can type in the chat. If you're here live on Twitch, there it is. Scrubbot's active, and he's handed out the link. Otherwise, you can find it down below if you're watching this on YouTube. And subscribble and like the video or downvote it. I don't care. Doesn't matter. I'm not making any money off of YouTube. I'll just be fined into oblivion if I ever decide to. Screw it. YouTube's dying anyway. Doesn't matter. If you like it, you thumbs up or thumbs down, don't matter. It still helps the video somehow. Whatever. I don't even care to know. I just put it up there so people can watch it. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna get out of here. I need some sleep. You can check the Discord if you want to check with our progress throughout the week. And that's it. So, you guys have a good one and scrub out.